Okay.
Salutations to foes. This is your fabulous leader, the Queen of Shade, coming at you with another special presentation. I am moving forward with these interviews, which are really conversations with the people that inspire me the most. You guys. There's so many great things happening in all of your lives that I just want to sit down with all of you and conversate about your growth, your evolution, and all of the good things that are going on in the cosmos for each and every one of us. Having said that, I have someone very special that I would like to introduce you to. Now, you may have seen her recently on Access Hollywood with Mario Lopez. So you might know already who she is. So she really doesn't need an introduction, but she always calls me mother. So I'm going to make sure that I do it right. So without further ado, I would like to introduce you to my daughter and auntie at the same time. You know, Black folk, we got all kinds of titles in our family. Auntie BStay.
What's going on, girl?
Hi, baby. How are you?
Girl, I'm just living life to the fullest. That's all any of us can do, right?
Yes, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yes.
How's your day going?
It's going great. I was just sitting here thinking, you out here looking fabulous, and I'm out here looking like back alley trash.
But you was just on Access Hollywood, so you doing something right. You don't look like no trash.
Gave you a disclaimer. You know I work at a school.
Yes, yes, I know.
Yes. I'm just so happy, first of all, to be here. Mother, you know I love you so much.
I love you too.
So grateful to you. Yes.
So tell everybody, where are you from?
I am from Washington, D.C.
Yes. Oh, wow. Washington, D.C. You said the
hood.
The hood?
The hood.
Baby, listen, I am a firm believer that great things come out of the hood because I started in the projects of Northern Philadelphia, honey.
Come on now, Project now. Come on now, me too, baby. Project baby.
Hey, yes. You know what? I want to stay right there for a second. I find that when we have that kind of upbringing, it kind of forces us to go inside ourselves for amusement, for happiness, for consolation, for, care and attention. And I also find that it makes the best entertainment. It makes the best entertainers.
Yeah. It does. And I'm going to tell you why you feel that way. Number one, us coming up in the projects, we didn't have a lot of access to things. You know, like some friends that wasn't living in the project had access to things we didn't. So we created our own stuff. And, and it was so much fun. We didn't need the Nintendos. We was the Nintendo, okay? So yes, I know. And like you said, we definitely dig deeper into ourselves because, especially people that came from very humble beginnings. Most, I'm gonna say that word, most people stay humble and understand what it is to struggle. However, try to do better to not to be in that same predicament, If you have kids like myself, How you say the generational curse? I said, I'm not bringing my babies up in the projects, and I meant that. Okay.
Right. I had the pleasure of getting out of the projects, but it improved, but I wasn't in the projects. So with me being a young, effeminate, trans illusionist, even then, my grandmother was so gracious too. She was a teacher herself, and she, and she moved us to the suburbs, and she continued to teach for the Board of Education in Philadelphia. And we were able to go to school in the suburbs, but it still wasn't easy. I mean, I remember sleeping on the floor. I had 4 siblings, and she still had children in her house that she was raising her children. So, we made it work though. We made it work, Auntie. We made it work.
We did.
I got that shiny suburban diploma and went to college, and, we made it work. And, that's one thing that I love when I look at you, because you rose to fame on social media.
Mother, when you say that, of course, I'm always humble. But I'm like, Mom, I'm not famous. You're famous. Okay?
No. You're famous. You were just, no. No. You're famous. Lopez. You were just on Access Hollywood with Mario Lopez. Don't play with me.
Girl, did you
You getting
hear
out there
that?
to eyeballs.
No, mother, you know I got to be in my element. Did you hear me when I told him I don't know who I like the most to power on him?
Yes.
I was kidding, but I wasn't, honey. I had to control myself, Shay. That man been fighting all these years, and what's so crazy? He smells so good. Oh God, my brother. I was like, oh.
Listen, we've been fantasizing over Slater for years.
Honey, and see, baby, look, if you're nasty, you and me. Yes. I was like, my God, I had to do it for the girls.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God. You just make me laugh. You're so good.
Mother, I just said you know that little itch, you know that I won't say itch because that little thing we get in our stomachs when we see something we like it, especially if it smells good. This is oh honey, you can call me a dog and eat. That's fine. I'll be the dog and eat. I don't care. That man is fine.
Oh my God, Auntie.
What? Look, I'm too old to be fake out here.
Yes, I
like it
understand.
is. I was a wholesome woman on the show, honey. I was wholesome. I was wholesome on the stage, but I was a hoe in my mind.
Oh my God, Auntie. Okay, so I was gonna say, well, you rose to fame. You rose to fame over social media with your comedy. But what really took off was your cooking. You would do you would teach us how to make something, and it would be like under a minute or 2 minutes.
Well, let me tell you. At first, it was under a minute.
Right.
They finally graduated to 3 minutes.
Okay.
So, of course, I feel so much better with this because with the minute, you didn't really have that much time to explain everything. And that's what used to piss me off because I receive a lot of questions in my comments. So I'm like, oh my God, when they did that 3 minute, baby, Auntie made it work. So normally, of course, that's for TV. Nothing takes 3 minutes to make, of course. But it allows me to explain more now. So I'm happy with that.
You know what's so funny? And I love it too, because your cameraman's like, oh, you making this today. And it's not even what you're making. You'll be sitting there with a signature drink and you're like, oh no, honey, you can't have the ingredients to what I'm drinking. We making something else.
Well, first I started off with your granddaughter, but now I'm with your grandson, okay?
Yes.
That's your grandson acting up, mother.
I love him. I love him. He's so good. So tell us, now we got to talk about it. So tell us, you were doing that. You were the cooking took off and the showing us how to make things. How did it land you Access Hollywood?
I'm gonna be real honest with you. They love me at Uncle Judge Jerry Springer Court, honey.
Yes.
Down to the people that work on the scenes, behind the scenes, people just at the door, down to the doorman. Most of them already follow me in the first place, but from one producer that I guess I really stood out to him, and CW is a sistering company to NBC. So he reached, his name is Joe. Joe reached out to me. He said, Auntie, how would you like to cook on Access Hollywood? I said, look, I said, is a bed fat? And he said, well, So I said, I guess I'll be on my way to LA because I'm coming, huh? Right. At first, I didn't know who I would be on Access Hollywood with. Because honestly, during the day when I come on, I'm at work. And at night, I'm probably, I'm in college too. So I'm doing schoolwork, So I'm like, oh my God. When I found out it was AC, I said, baby, okay, let's do it. And that's how that happened.
Wow. That is so wonderful when people bear witness to the greatness and the ability that is in each and every one of us. And Auntie, I'm so glad. I knew it was going to happen because you are just so phenomenal. Like what I love about your content is that your content is easy to watch for the whole family.
Yes,
it's very easy
that's
to
my
watch.
point. That's
Yes,
my
it's
point.
very, you can tell that even through the genius, you
Yes.
know exactly what you're looking for. You know exactly how to do it. And it's just, Auntie, it's just so remarkable. It's so remarkable.
Oh wow. Thank you so
Yes.
much. Well, mother, you know what I used to do. So we're so crazy. When I was doing my comedy, I didn't get these opportunities. Now, people are laughing giggles, but I wasn't getting opportunities like this.
Right.
So my page was actually deactivated at when I was at 70. You didn't know that?
No.
Somebody reported me. I went against our girl. I think her little followers at the time reported my page, Miss Kaya. We ain't gonna speak on her, but Miss Kaya, daughter. And her followers, I mean, the video was very funny, but her followers was really mad. And she had a huge following. Yeah. So they reported my page. I was like, you know what, F it, I'm not making no more. I don't care. And that was back in 2017. So I came back 2020, because my daughter, but not on Instagram at first, it was on TikTok. Because my daughter's like, Mom, TikTok is the new wave. You don't have to worry about all that craziness. You funny, you like to cook food. There's a lot of people like you online, do it. I did it, and it just spread.
You know what? I love that you just hit on the fact that you've had obstacles, and I'm gonna open up right now to you,
Yes,
my daughter.
yes,
I keep saying out loud, because it's all I can say, because I can't say the name, but for the last 14 years, I've had someone prominent in Hollywood doing mean and malicious things behind the scenes to stop me from advancing or making money. And I'm just going to tell the truth. Before I got on here today, I kind of was having a panic attack, because I was like, it's 14 years, enough is enough. And I'm crying. I wasn't crying, but I'm talking to my grandmother, and I was angry. And I'm like, really, after 14 years, this person is still trying to keep me from coming to public light. And my grandmother was like, well, you got to think outside the box. What do you do? What do you know to do? What do you do this? We can think of this. And she's throwing ideas at me, and I'm getting angrier and angrier and angrier, because I'm like, I tried that. I did that. Like, I'm just so upset. And then I said to her out loud, I said, even with me not being a Christian and me being a shaman and more into the spiritual and the divine, I said to her, well, what good is your Christian God? Because 14 years and he ain't done nothing about this. And she got quiet, and she asked me, she said, well, what are you going to do? And this was at 2:45. Our meeting was at 3. I said, I'm going to do the only thing I know how to do. I'm going to go upstairs. I'm going to put on this dress. I'm going to come back down. You go and zip it. I'm going to throw my wig on and my shades and hit play on the camera.
You hear me?
Yup. That's what got me through.
Mother,
well, yes, go ahead. Say it.
You are so great. And when I'm gonna tell you what really pulled me to you, you did a read where I guess somebody was like, I don't even know, maybe it was just a read. Mm-hmm. And it said something how you was gonna restrict somebody's welfare card. Bruce, baby, when I tell you I watched that dog on clip about 15 times. I couldn't get enough when I first seen it. I even reposted it on the Out of Control page, because it was that fierce. Oh, I'm sorry. I have to walk in here. Sorry.
That's okay.
Oh, Lord, come on, light. All right, let there be light. All right. When there's no activity, it automatically shut down. I don't know why it does that, but whatever. So when I tell you, your grace, just how you say things, and you said it with no regret. And I felt that. Like, I don't know, like I literally could not watch something else. I literally watched it to the point that I said, you know what? I need to save this. But it wouldn't let it save to my phone. So you know what I did? Screen recorded it.
Yes.
But to send it to you, or what I remember me connecting with you. As far as 14 years, and that's a long time, Auntie. But I'm gonna tell you this. Excuse me, Mother. But I'm gonna tell you this. You continue to do all the great things. And let's not think that God doesn't see all. Like, I'm Christian, I believe in other things too. I'm spiritual as well. But don't, just because God don't handle something when you want it to be handled, don't mean he don't got your best interest at heart or he ain't gonna handle it. Maybe he waiting for the big show. You understand that? So what you do, you continue to get up on here like you told Grandma, press play and do what you need to do. Because at the end of the day, you out here saving lives, mother. Okay? You out here saving lives for real. Everybody I showed your video to was like, wow, oh my God. I never heard nobody read for filth like that ever in my life. And it was amazing to me. I was in awe. So, but again, mother, you keep on doing what you're doing out here, okay?
Yes. Do you know what the crazy
Nothing touch you.
You know what the crazy thing, Auntie, you know what the crazy thing is? I started reading like that because I couldn't say the person's name. So I just started reading them all over the internet. And I remember that video so brilliantly. It's at the top of my head. Said, honey, don't come for me. Said, not only will I snatch your eyebrows, your nose hairs, and your wig, but bitch, I will drag you.
Thank you.
And sign my name in the scars.
Your scars.
But I did say I will revoke your food stamp and medical benefit. Yeah, I did. I said I did throw that in there. I said I will revoke your food stamp and your medical benefits. Bitch, I will drag you. Yes.
When I tell you that, I mean, of course, like I said, I've heard a lot of people being rich. Not like that. That was a 1985 back in the day. Listen, what was that? Who was our baby? The pretty, the beautiful. It was the house of LaBeija.
Pepper LaBeija. Pepper LaBeija.
You read like Pepper. I said, oh, honey. And she, oh, wow. Look, I had to make sure I checked the date. Was this recently? Because, baby, you didn't leave nothing, baby. You fed them dust. You didn't even leave them nothing. You left them nothing.
Well, if you're going to read, you better read well. They said, listen, Auntie, they said reading is fundamental.
It is. But, baby, you read that day. Like I said, I would never forget it. I had it in my back then. I had a Google, well, not a Google phone, but you want an Android. Baby, I had to transfer that stuff over to the app, and I did. That I would never get rid of, honey. I should get a shirt with everything that you said on it, front and back.
Yeah, I got to put them out. People been telling me, like, you need shirts.
Please, mother. I'm telling you, see, God used me to tell you something just now.
That was confirmation.
Yes, I do, mother.
Yeah, that was confirmation. Yeah, that was confirmation. Because it's just like, but you know, like I was reading from a place of pain. Like I was sick of this person. And that was what came out. And I'll never forget it. My buddy taught gay with Faye. His name is Faye Londo. I used to mentor him years ago. And he blew up on Instagram and had a huge following, and he shared one of my videos, and then it went viral.
Crazy.
It's crazy. And I remember this person attacked my page, took one of my videos, hacked a celebrity's page with 2 million followers, put my video on that page and said that I had hacked it. So 2 million people were coming over and attacking my page. But not only did they attack my page, they attacked Londo's page for helping me.
Jesus.
Yeah. But guess what? I'm still here.
Baby, and you still, what you say, you gonna draw your name where?
Yep, in the scars.
Okay, period. Ain't nothing else to say, baby. You said what needed to be said, and you gave what needed to be given. It is what it is.
My auntie, I needed this today.
I love you.
I love you too. I ain't even get to no questions yet because it's just been an empowerment session.
We'll go ahead, get to your questions now. We gotta get the readers.
We gotta get it. But I just thank you. But that's why I love doing this, because the interviews, though the videos were scripted, I wrote them out. All 22,000 of them, Auntie. It's 22,000.
Oh, I know. You had several. Oh,
Right.
yes. You had
Yeah, it's
several, honey.
22,000. I love the
Yes.
interviews because I can go off, like I can do and say. So,
Yes.
okay. So you mentioned that I have grandbabies. How many children you have?
I have 3. My oldest son, his name is David. He's 19. He's going to be 20 in February. I have my daughter, Sine. She's 17, and she's going to be 18 in July. And my baby boy, Kenneth, he's 14. He's going to be 15 next month on the 9th.
What do they think of their mommy being a superstar? Because you, especially in the internet world, and now you crossing over into daytime television. So what do they have to say about this?
I believe truly they're happy for me, but they give me a lot of slack too. They like trying to call me Auntie now. Like, huh, Auntie? This always what? I'm your mother. I'm not your aunt. Like stuff like that. But you know, little Shay don't matter to me. You know. But I know they're genuinely happy for me.
Yeah. So so tell us, you work at a school too. You work with babies.
I work with, no, baby, ain't no baby. I work at BStay, which is an opportunity academy. We service students from ages 16. My oldest is, I believe, 62, but they're not all together. They're not all together. The young, the younger students from 18 to 23 is on where I work, and the other side is 23 and up. And it's, other side. We both offer high school diplomas, no GED, high school diplomas. And, for the most part, it's been wonderful for me. I love it.
Wow.
I'm a behavior specialist here. Yeah, I deal with behaviors, and I actually, stay in mostly all day in our spirit class.
Wow, yes. Wow. See, this is what I love about getting to know each other.
Yes.
You are doing a terrific work. That's why you're blessed.
Thank you. I love these kids. And let me tell you one thing about it, mother. If you was to ever visit the school and you ask students about me, you would be surprised with the stuff that you hear to come out these kids' mouth. And that's because it's not just in the building, it's outside the building as well. I try to take care of all of our babies as much as I can. They are good kids. I mean, I hate when people say kids are bad. No, they have bad behaviors. It's a difference. No one is bad. They have bad behaviors. And that you can work on them. Some kids may not have structure. Some kids might not have the parent to say, hey, you're doing wrong. So at the end of the day, my grandmother's always said it takes a village. I'm that village.
Yes.
Period.
I was getting ready to say, I remember coming up and, I never went to, when I was younger, I've had 14 years of therapy. So right when this person started messing with me, it was the time I signed up to have therapy. So I didn't kill nobody.
Amen.
But yes, but growing up, it was very difficult because we never talked about my mother and my father being on drugs or having mental illness or coming on and being in the projects and things like that. And then I was moved to the suburbs, and what people think is, oh, well, if you relocate a child, they're gonna be all right. And that's not true, Auntie.
That's not true.
No, I carry. Yeah.
If you already have trauma.
Yeah.
And you're being removed, and of course, you're going to have more trauma because it's especially when people have issues with their anxiety. Anxiety is not something that you can get over. That's stuff that you have to work with over the years. And I'm sure some of the stuff that you have some stuff you did let go, or as I call, put it in your red bucket all the way to the back. Some things I know that you can't let go because of what you've been through. And it's not easy. So if no one has had trauma like you, or never dealt with anyone that had trauma like you, should not advise or speak to you about trauma.
I'm gonna put
and that's just aunties.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a pin in that, because that was the thing. Like, I was trying to get on with my life, but that trauma, I didn't like. I managed to start to excel in my classes, but Auntie, I didn't excel the way I wanted to because my home life was still crazy.
Yeah,
I
you
was
were
sleeping.
masking.
It was still
You were
crazy. I was
masking.
sleeping. Yeah.
Yeah,
And oh, Auntie, that's the word. That's exactly the word.
yeah, you was
I went into,
masking.
yeah, I went into college masking.
Of course you did. Because in your head, like, of course, and the mother, I love you, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. You are the type of person that you would rather shine bright rather than be dim. So even though you were hurting on the inside, no one would know it unless you told them because you always had the smile on your face.
You're right. Even when I got to college, and at 19 is when bipolar disorder starts to show, and my anxiety
Yes,
disorder, and the post-traumatic
yes,
stress.
yes.
I was sick, Auntie, for 5 months on my college campus, and nobody knew what was wrong.
And you know what? That was, of course, all the months or plus years of masking that you did that finally, not just your mind shut down, your body shut down. And you unable to focus, or like some days you probably wasn't even able to get up and wash your face or brush your teeth.
You're absolutely right.
No one's trauma is the same. No one can actually analyze their trauma is the same. It's no way. You might have similarities, but you are one person, just like Auntie is a different person. We might have similarities, but we might process things differently. You know,
Ooh,
and
Auntie.
that's the realest I can ever tell you, mother.
Ooh, Auntie. So how do you reach someone that's coming from trauma? Because I want to hear this. How do you begin to reach?
I go to the core.
Oh, to the
And what I mean by that, I need to get it. I need to get in their element to make them feel comfortable that they can talk to me. This stuff doesn't happen overnight. No one is going to tell you their story just like that, especially people that's been through trauma, because they're either A, embarrassed, or B, really don't understand what they're going through themselves. Or 3, like you, a masker. Oh, everything's good. I'm fine. It all kind of remind you of that pretty apple on the front, but in the back it was rotten.
Auntie, you pulling my card, and you're absolutely right. And I'm so glad that you are, because we need to talk about these things.
We definitely do.
Yeah, we live in a world of masking.
It's not the world. It's not the world. I'm gonna tell you why I say this.
Why?
We were both African American.
Yeah.
And who could fix it? Wasn't a psychiatrist, the pastor or Jesus. And I'm not saying that they cannot, but of course, the pastor. And more than likely, he's going to tell you what I said, which is going to make you feel some type of way uncomfortable. And guess what? Now I'm feeling more bad because I hurt you. So I need to speak to somebody I don't know, who don't know you, who don't know me, who can help me get to where I need to go.
Auntie, I'm gonna tell you something.
I hit it on the head.
Yeah, you did. Let me tell you something.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you something. About back in 2007, 2008, I was a phone sex agent. And right, the voice and the stories and the imagination. For 2 years, and I learned that because my boss, she had a degree in psychology, like a master's in psychology. So she made it about more than the oohs and the ahs and the moaning. She actually taught us techniques to kind of help stabilize and start healing in these men's minds. Because what we realized was a lot of these men that were calling us because they had some form of trauma, and the trauma had become a part of them, and it manifested as their fetish or their kink.
Yep. Yes.
And they were, yeah, and they needed it. They needed it. So they would call a stranger.
Yep. Let me tell you something. A lot of the reason why a lot of things happen, even the stuff that we see today, even all around the world, is because it's how they say, hurt people, or sometimes hurt people might do things that we might not understand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like outside of you being a representative, you probably, if you would have seen this person probably He's handsome and look good, but guess what? In here, he's broken. In here, he's broken.
Yeah.
That's why I tell people, the most people be like, oh, I want to look like this. I want to look this good. I want to look like this. Half of them is upset that they look even that good because it caused more problems. It's more issues for them. It's something else here. Or they feel like they have to look so good to make sure that that no one will understand that they're hurting. Like, prime example, sometimes people overcompensate for things that they're really trying to block and don't want nobody else to see. And I'm not talking about this. It's almost like what makeup do to us, mother. It's almost what makeup does to us. We can sit there and blend and hide things and stuff like that. Guess what? People live their life like makeup every day. People, even millionaires, rich, this. Trust me, they're suffering. Because guess what? They are not living. They tortured. Imagine living like that every day. And we looking at it, oh, I wish I could have what I had. They had.
I am so thankful for the 14 years of therapy that I've had.
Yep.
Because in those years, you know, people think therapy is for Black people. Oh no, talk to the Lord, like you said, talk to your pastor. But the therapy really helped me find me. And help me not to take away and dig out that rot that was there from the trauma. Yes. But what I find is, Auntie, I attract a lot of broken people.
You know what? Because you're light. You're light, mother. Why wouldn't you think that you would? You're light. Like, okay, you know, when you watch most, like, I don't know if you like horror movies. I do sometimes. I don't watch it all the time, but I do. Do you notice in a horror movie, it's always something about come to or bring to them to the light or something to the light? That's they're attracted. You're like a golden globe to them. Yeah. And you are not really a golden globe. You're masking. But they see your light, and it's just like when you go to like Vegas. You don't really want to spend all your money, but you see the lights. And it attracts you. You are attraction. You attract me, and I'm gonna tell you, guess what? I was very broken. Okay.
Wow.
I was broken then. 2017, broken.
Wow.
And but nobody else would know. Nobody else would know because I gotta be funny. I'm the comedian. People don't even realize I'm hurting. Mentally, physically. All they can see is I was funny.
Ooh, you giving me real conversation today, and I am loving every moment of it.
We gotta tell the truth. You know it, baby. You know it. When I first saw you, I forgot what page or someone posted you. I saw your name. I hit the honey. I'll type so fast. I probably gave my doggone fingers whiplash. And I said, "Oh my God, I saw mother." I couldn't remember. I knew Queen Shay. I knew that. But when I was like, "Oh my God, thank you." God knew. God knew, or the spiritual world knew what you meant to me.
Yeah.
And when I seen your name, like I said, I clicked on so fast, and if you can remember, I DM'd you. I was like, "Hey, mother, I miss you. I love you so much. I know it's been years, you know, whatever, because I literally used to watch you every day." Like, you know, people, I'm sure you hear this all the time, because I do too. People say, well, if I didn't watch your video, I'd be sad, or, you know, this, that, and the third. That's how I felt. You was keeping me going. Even after I launched my page, I just came, when I did come to Instagram, I was under some bullcrap page. I never would say anything. I just like, you know what I mean? Because I mean, you kept me going good for a while. You really did. And I appreciate every bit of it, baby. Every bit of it.
You know,
my mother.
This was the conversation that I needed to have after the conversation I just had with my grandmother, because this reinstilled. You are reinstilling into me what my agenda and my purpose is and should
Yes.
always be. I can't let the haters get to me, because
Yes.
you're right. The work is so important.
It is.
The work.
It is.
Work. And, you know, I'm one of those people where when I first went to therapy, I was an open book. I was a little bit, but like you said, I had been masking for so long that I just started spewing. Like I was spewing everything. Like I taught my therapist, like I changed therapists 4 or 5 times in the 14 years. And I was not one of the people that needed to get to know my therapist again. I was not one of the people that needed to feel comfortable. I had one stipulation: make sure it's a woman. Because I did not want to, I had a lot of trauma with men. I do not want a man. Make sure my therapist is a woman. The only caretaker in my life that is a man, and they snuck him in, is my primary care physician, but he is so phenomenal. No, but he's so phenomenal. He's so phenomenal. He's the man I needed in my life, because he keeps me together. Like, watch your cholesterol, watch this, watch that. You know, he told me recently, don't eat a lot of shellfish and things like that because of what runs in your family. And, you know, so, but I literally had this analogy that therapy for me was like having a wound in my hand. Yes. And this wound was full of glass shards of all different sizes, all different shapes, and it was very painful. The wound was open. And I said that therapy to me was an ultimatum. I can either take my tweezers and dig out every single shard of glass I could, or I could let that wound close with the glass in it and travel through my body to other vital organs and cause further complications
and damage.
So
that's what
in
it
therapy, I cried like a crazy man, and I just,
as you should,
pulled them out. And this is the end result. And it's so crazy because my psychiatrist, I have both. She said to me, she said, your ability to be an entertainer is going to help you heal. She was the reason I turned on my camera. She kept urging me, what's going on with your music? What's going on with your career? And I'm looking at her like, woman, do you see how low I am? I don't have no money for no music and no career. And she kept pressing me every time she saw me. What are you doing for your music? What are you doing for your career? And I'm like, I don't have a career. I'm sleeping in the spare bedroom of my grandmother's townhouse. I don't have no career. I would get so upset. And then I remember the day my first single came out, and I went to her and I was like, so I did a thing. You know how you talk to your therapist. So I'm like, my psychiatrist. So I'm like, I did a thing. And she's like, what is it? And I had a little CD with it on there. I said, this is my thing. And she was like, finally. And what she explained to me was that when I was mentally ready, finances and everything else would align itself. It would come, it would happen because of my will to will myself forward and to heal. All my music, it's sad, but it dances. Like I put it over danceable beats. Like I didn't want people to cry when they heard my music. I wanted people to hear what I was saying. And my music comes from my life experience, but I wanted them to be like, okay, well, she's got me dancing. She's got me dancing. She's got me, you know, this, like she's got me, she's singing up all in the rafters, you know, and she's got me dancing. And that was how I gave my pain to the world. And you are so right. There were so many artists like ourselves that we are going through. And the only way that we can even get some kind of solace is for us to do what comes natural to us. That is entertain. Entertaining saved my life, Auntie.
Oh, I can believe it. And your voice is everything. You're so captivating. You know, you sometimes can get chilled and like especially when you hear high notes. I'm like, oh, my bad. Yes. So that's you. That's what you doing. You're turning your pain into positivity.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And trust me, what you're doing, you're helping others as well.
Yeah.
Are you just doing that? They jump to you feeling good, and guess what? You get next step off you, even if it's not for forever. It might be temporary, but guess what? It's you releasing it or trying to at least.
Yeah.
Because when you release anything, you have to try. You have to try something. You know what I mean? So
it baffles me, Auntie, how intellectual my following is.
Why?
Because I'm going to tell you something, Auntie, because I always felt that without a college degree, because I was medically withdrawn from college, I felt that I used to feel this way. I don't anymore, but I felt that without a college degree, I was stupid.
Girl, baby, let me tell you something. Don't get me wrong, because I'm in school now, okay? I dropped out, and me and your story got a match, okay? Let's be clear. When I got my associates, bye-bye. But now at 42, I'm back in school, okay? It's not that I think what you really meant is that you felt like that you couldn't be everything that you could be. Not that you're stupid, that's how you meant, but back then, that's the words you use. But I don't think that you ever thought that you was stupid, because we all, this about having a 2-second conversation with you, know better than that. I'm just saying, no.
You're right. And you know, I've never had anybody pick that up.
Yeah.
I felt like I was pigeonholed or trapped, and I had to stay in a specific position or location. I felt that my degree would have given me arms and legs, and I want to be able to do more. And you know what's so crazy is, even in therapy, as I worked through that, and even my grandmother, because my grandmother has an associate's, a bachelor's, and a master's in education. So even she would tell me, baby, a degree does not make or break you. And whenever you want, you can go back and get what you feel you want. You know? Yes, she would tell me that. Right, all the time. And I just, Auntie, it's just so, it feels so good.
But I also want to put something on your heart too. What's the degree, right? You can go, like you just said, get any degree that you want in the world, right? But what's the degree if you don't have the passion to do what you taking up in school? I'm just gonna be real. Right. Do you know unhappy people that have degrees but are unhappy, not passionate about what they do? And when you're not passionate about what you do, it's going to show eventually. Especially dealing if you're in education. You got to be all in or nothing. Yeah. Education. Yeah. It's like literally. And yes, you're gonna have some ups and downs, but if you love what you do, it's gonna always work itself out. Yeah. You understand that?
Yeah. My grandmother, you know, I call her the Queen Mother, the Duchess of Slay.
Hey!
She's the Duchess of Slay.
You better.
I went downstairs because I spent a lot of time in my room creating. I'm always creating. Yes. So writing new music, scripting videos, and doing the interviews. And I love the interviews because they're unscripted. So, but my grandmother, she turned 74 in October. I turned 39 in September. We're both Libras.
Wait a minute. September what? Not to cut you off, mother.
No, go ahead. The 29th.
September what?
29.
You my mother for real. September the 27th.
You're a Libra?
Yes. September the 27th. And he's October the what?
She's October 17th.
Oh, baby, yes, that is grandmother from no other. Yes, we're Libras, all of us.
Oh my God. And here I was thinking that the Virgos had the corner on the market and entertainment. Nope.
No, sorry. I'm Libra.
Yeah.
I'm telling.
Yes.
Be balanced. Because if I'm not, it can go either way. It makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense, honey. You know what? Because now I know that you're a Libra. And you are a prodigy. You are a prodigy. If no one ever told you that, I'm telling you that, mother. You are a prodigy. Yes, you are. You so smart that so many of your ideas. You have random ideas all day, but so many of them you can't even keep up with. And then it's like, but you understand your chaos. You understand, and that's me. Period. Okay, go ahead, continue, my.
You just gonna mess me up, and you think I'm gonna be able to go on?
Oh,
You're right. You're right. My therapist said it. She was like, she told me, my therapist said it. She said, you're a prodigy and we would love to test your IQ. She said, because you're much more, you're advanced. And, I always loved Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And at the top of that pyramid, most people die before they ever reach self-actualization. But being young and Black and gay and feminine, I had to bypass money and family and love and get right up there to know who I was, because that was the most important thing. So I actually did it in reverse and started at the top of the pyramid. I learned me first, and now I'm getting everything else. But I was going to tell you that my grandmother confided in me the other day. She woke up and she said to me, she said, I'm 74 years old and I've never been happy.
No.
Yeah, she told me that.
What did you think? Did she tell you the things that she want to do?
I'm gonna tell you.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you. So get this. She enjoyed her career as an educator. She said that because she worked with children and their minds are like sponges, and she could pour into them all of her hopes and dreams and send them on their way. But my grandmother was the type of woman where her mother died when she was 17. She married my grandfather at 18. He was in the Green Beret. And so Vietnam, and he came back. I'm just gonna say he came back crazy.
You already know. I know about Vietnam, child. My uncle came back from Vietnam. He wasn't.
Yeah, he's not the same. So he's not the same. So she ended up having to leave him. But my grandmother's life was spent shouldering the burden of the family. She had to take care of everybody. And my thing is, that's what was driving me to feel so sad, because I'm like, here I am, a grown man. I know what it's like to work. And they were telling me, well, you can't do this type of work when you are, because of these illnesses, you need specific, you need specific circumstances. And, people are like, oh, you do work. You work harder than anybody else. But the point is, I work harder than anybody else doing what I'm able to do, like what I can do. And that was the difference. But she told me that, she loved fashion when she was younger. She used to design and draw. And she told me about how she would get out of the Sunday paper, because she was born in 1947. She would get the little fashion dolls in the back of the paper and, cut them out and draw and things like that. She also could sing. So she just, and model, like she was approached to do a whole lot of things. And a lot of the stuff she had to let go of because she had children. And my grandfather checked out. And I'm just going to be honest here. And this is what it is. He sexually assaulted 3 of his children. So she was really trying to hold it down. Yeah, she was really trying to hold it down. And it just was very hard. And, her by herself. And then the kids didn't tell her to a certain time, because they're like, Mama, we needed you. We didn't need you sitting in jail trying to kill our father. And, I had dealings with him when I was younger. I was never sexually assaulted, but he was mean. He was very, very mean. So, she had to play the nucleus for everybody, every generation, even in the house now. She has me, I'm her grandson. She's got 1 great grandson here, but we had 2. There was another one here that we've been raising since he was 8 years old. So, and this one here, he's only 20. But what we love about them is everything that we've learned, everything that we know, we've poured into them. So he's like 20 going on 35. He understands. Yeah, he understands this business because he wants to get into it. And, I sit all day, because for me, this part is fun, but the real part that I enjoy is the research. I enjoy but this, being a Libra, we don't get into things and not like how they work. We like to know how they work, because as Librans, we are not the type of people to give people fish. we teach you how to fish, and then even further, we teach you how to cook it. So, you know, most people don't understand that. So, but yeah, she told me she was, you know, there were things that she wanted to do. So I told her, I said, well, you don't have to worry. I said, because you got at least 20 something to 30 years left. You only 7. And I told her I'm gonna take care of her like she ain't never been taken care of before.
Now I was about to tell you that you need to take her on a good adventure. To go see the world. I need y'all to go to see the world, mother. Because at the end of the day, now don't get me wrong. I know it's really hard for us as kids coming up with trauma, but imagine the adults that has trauma too. And it's so, and that they put, man, what you just told me was a whole earful, okay? And the thing of it is, I know that she did the best that she can do. And you got to think about it with how she was raised, is that sometimes no matter what the husband might do, you have to stick with the husband. You got to fix the situation. You got to be that sponge or the glue to hold everything together. So a lot of things was on your grandmother's shoulders.
Yeah.
Some things she didn't even tell you. Trust me, she probably gave you the edited version just to keep your sanity where it is. You understand that? Yep. It's what she told you is probably 10 times worse than what actually took place. Let me be very clear. I've seen it.
Yeah,
very
clear. That's why I promised her. I said,
Mm-hmm.
Nana, and it's so funny that you said that because you are a Libra. Because I looked at her, I said, Nana, we're going to see the world.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yes,
take her.
I want to live in Paris. I can't leave my grandmother here. She go everywhere I'm going.
No, she go. Okay, period.
She going everywhere.
Visit. Y'all just had my beret and my what's that baguette ready for me, baby. We're gonna be on bikes. No, I'm serious. You got to, because at the end of the day, no, like it never matter her age. No day is promised.
Yeah.
No day is promised. And for her to say that she has some form of happiness, some form of release, some form, like she has you, which is good. And I'm sure that you keep her going. I'm sure you help in other areas, but you know, the support that you give her, keep her going. Trust that. What you're doing right now is helping her. Trust that. Yes, I love it. Don't get mad at me, but I have a meeting.
I know. You a superstar, honey. You out saving the world. So tell everybody. Before you go, you got a meeting. Tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
They can find me at Auntie BStay, and I'm gonna spell it out: AUNTIE BSTAY.
Thank you so much for talking to me, and please enjoy the rest of your day and your meeting.
I love you.
And I love you too.
We gotta do this again.
Yes. We
gotta do this again. Yes. I loved it.
I loved every moment of it. So I'm gonna let you go because you got a meeting, but I love you so much.
I love you, mother.
I love you too.
Bye.
Bye.